No, I look by button, I guess no. Just get me to you. Racer me, you see, I Murphy, and if no, we're very. Hey everybody, Finity from SWGOH here, and we are here for another episode of Good and Bad. Now, what is Good and Bad? Good and Bad is the weekly show that we put up that goes through a different game and gives you all the news and notes from the past week, and either gives those things a thumbs up or a thumbs down based on what we think. Now, this one is covering Galaxy of Heroes, and we are going to go through what has happened over the past week. Now, there is a trend lately where it seems to be fairly quiet. We're getting one or two pieces of information, and that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. Now, that one piece of information this week is fairly straightforward, and it is the Galactic Challenges. Now, the Galactic Challenges have been going on. We're on our second Galactic Challenge, and CG has put out a post talking about how they are reading our responses and feedback. Now, there is a little bit of confusion on where this feedback is happening, and the feedback is happening in the general discussion forum in the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes forum, and I did link it down below in the description of this video. But with that feedback, they have come up with a few things that are pretty important. Now, the first thing is that they are actually going to be looking at the rewards. Now, the rewards is something that everyone has basically been talking about. It doesn't seem worth it to do all of this, especially with the tier 7 feats requiring those high of relics and what it can do to impact your roster and different competitiveness. They talked about updating the rewards to make these a little bit better. There's also really nothing that entices anyone to really have any replayability with these events, and the time frame of 7 weeks is extremely long. So to kind of help with this, they did mention that they were going to increase the frequency as well as decrease the length of these events. So combining all of that together with some of the other things that they mentioned with regards to, and I'm going to put this right there, looking a little bit more about the tiers versus the feats and how they all relate to each other, I think this is going to be pretty good for CG. Now, once again, for those of you that are not aware, the Galactic Challenges are in the game, but they have deemed this the Galactic Challenge Exhibition. This is basically an open public beta test that all the players are able to go through, get rewards as part of the process here, but again, open beta is the way that you really need to think about it. So they're looking for feedback, they're making the changes. Now, one thing a little bit that has the community a little bit torn is the fact that they mentioned that they intentionally kept the gear kind of low because they wanted to see how players would respond and kind of tune it up a little bit over time. Now, from my perspective, that is a smart way to do it. CG would have been in a much more difficult position to give too many rewards and then pull it back because it is too high. They're in a much better position now for keeping it low and then slowly adding. Players are asking, why didn't they just get it right the first time? The reason is because players are not sure what is right by themselves, right? You could give a suggestion, but the suggestions would be somewhat outlandish. You might even ask for a full stun gun, a full stun cuff, and me personally, I would love that, but there is an issue of tuning these and making sure that the rewards are correct. So starting off low and slowly scaling it up to make these more reasonable, I think is the smart thing for CG. So I am really happy overall with how they are doing this. Last week we gave a thumbs down to the Galactic Challenges because they didn't make a great impression, especially with the first new content in the game for a while. But with this feedback, it shows that they are listening, they are making the improvement, and so I have to give this post a thumbs up.
Business is good.
So that was pretty much it for this week. It was a fairly straightforward week. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot to it. We're still going through the Galactic Challenges. We're still in this open beta. There's a lot of possibilities with these Galactic Challenges. A lot of this could set the framework up for a lot more events, as they mentioned, but also some of these new mechanics like the environmental buff and the player buff versus the enemy buff. Those kind of things could be implemented in a new raid. So it is important that players take this seriously and do provide some good, honest feedback. Again, the link to the discussion post in the general discussion forum that Kaino is kind of putting all the posts in is down listed below. So make sure you click on that and provide your feedback and be constructive with it. But overall this week, since it looks like CG is listening to us, I have to give this week a thumbs up. And there you go. This week, a thumbs up. Pretty good job by CG here, taking the feedback, responding to it. I like the communication from Crumb as well, kind of replaying everything that he's heard over the past week. Now, hopefully, we have a new week of it with the Death Star challenge, and the feedback from this will help to improve Galactic challenges even more. And as we continue through the rest of the different challenges, we continue to make this a great new content. So with that, I am Finity with Reality Skewed Gamers. Thank you again, guys, for watching this episode of Good and Bad. If you haven't already, hit that logo down below in order to subscribe to our channel. Check out some of the other content over here. Don't forget to follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/realityskewedgamers. And once again, I will see you on the next video. Peace out, guys.